season. But is this a different, Browns team? Kevin Stefanski, you've had a whole season now with Baker Mayfield. We wanted you to move the pocket at week 1. You never did it. You never really established a running game. Got to get back to that. Let's run the football, move the pocket for Baker. I think you're going to have a lot more success because that plan, it was a disaster week 1. I'm still going to take I'm not going to tell you who I'm going to take, but everybody knows who I'm going to take.
RC, before we make the pick.
It's obvious.
What are you watching tonight? RC, what do you have your eye on?
I have my eye on Nick Chubb versus the run defense of the Baltimore Ravens. If you go back to that first meeting, the first drive was an interception by Marlon Humphrey on a tipped ball when they were trying to go to Odell Beckham Jr. They have to establish the run. They have to establish physicality. You go back to the Tennessee Titans versus Baltimore Ravens game, and you think about the way that Derrick Henry was able to wear on the Ravens defense. That's what we have to see from Nick Chubb. And then you move into the play action game by Baker Mayfield. And so I'm excited to see how this defense steps up against a very powerful runner and more importantly, a very powerful and pivotal running attack.
Dan, what are you watching for?
Yeah, I'm watching the aggression of Cleveland early on in this football game. Kevin Stefanski's one of the better coaches in the NFL when it comes to opening game scripts, right? Like really figuring out how to attack defenses and being aggressive. And I want to see if they're going to come out and be aggressive with their play action pass shots tonight, especially against the Ravens team that, offensively is limited a little bit. And so how many different ways is he going to script up different players and different schemes to attack that Ravens defense? And then lastly, Greeny, this. Listen, Baker Mayfield, listen, I'm going to take my glasses off. Baker, I've had your back for a long time. When a lot of people have hated on you, I've stood firm in believing in you. I wear these glasses, these fake glasses, so hopefully people will think I'm smart. I need you to prove that I'm right tonight. I need you to play good football. Cleveland Browns win this game because Baker Mayfield and Kevin Stefanski.
Okay, so we've got to wrap it up with our picks. Go ahead, Ryan.
Dan needs that because Carson ain't playing no more.
Shut up, man.
Oh, my God. He's been so sad all morning.
I moved on. I moved on to Josh Allen. Like, I've transitioned in 2020 to Josh Allen.
Don't you take Josh Allen. Josh Allen is my guy.
RC, what do you got? Who do you like tonight?
I'm going with Cleveland. I think Cleveland pulls it out. It's extremely important for this team. The defense is underrated up front, and I think that they find ways to run the football, and Baker Mayfield makes some critical plays down the stretch.
Dan, who you like?
Yeah, I jumped the gun. I'm taking the Cleveland Browns. I think they're going to come out and play aggressive football. RC hit that. That defensive line for Cleveland's playing really good. We know the Ravens' offensive line is beat up as well. So I want to see them jump out to lead. If you remember how the Titans played the Ravens last year, I want to see them jump out to that lead and then allow that defensive front to kind of dominate the football game.
Rex, you said everyone knows who you're picking, but actually
of course,
we don't.
Take a wild guess. I spent 10 years in Baltimore. Man, we used to punk Cleveland all the time.
Ryan,
Give me the Ravens. I don't care. Give me the Ravens.
Why do they win? Give me, because I'm picking the Ravens also.
I just think that they have that mentality, and they're going to win this game because they have the pride of the Baltimore Ravens.
That's exactly right. This game has been played in Ohio.
I thought the same thing about the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Doesn't matter.
I've said it before.
I said the same thing, dude. I'm going to take the Ravens until I die.
That's it. And you know me. I'm from Missouri. I'm actually not from Missouri, but you still have to show me. I have seen the Ravens dominate. I have seen the Ravens.
If I don't play good enough football, then I need to hang it up. But, I still feel like I can, do enough things to help this team win football games, and I'm going to do everything I can to get us back on track.
Interesting. So Ryan Clark, again, my resident former Steeler. How much of this is on Ben? He's taking a lot of the responsibility. How much of the struggles, again, they lose 2 games now after an 11-0 start. How much of it do you think is on the quarterback?
I don't think this is all on Seven. And I love the fact that he's taking accountability. I love the fact that he's learned how to lead through some of his failures. But this isn't all on Ben Roethlisberger. The first thing that shouldn't be happening is they shouldn't be putting everything on that 38-year-old quarterback with a rebuilt elbow. They shouldn't be asking him to throw the ball 50 times a game as we've seen him do sometimes this season. They should have a more run-prevalent offense, an offense with a little more creativity that allows some of these playmakers to get the ball in their hands. And so now that teams know that he's trying to get the ball out of his hands quickly, that they're not necessarily trying to allow Big Ben to be hit. They're triggering on the short route. They understand they'll have the one-on-one matchups down the field with the Claypools and the Washingtons from time to time. But this isn't all on Ben Roethlisberger. This is starting to be a team thing. When you lose the people you have defensively and you are so dependent on them, you have to score points. The Steelers have scored under 20 points for 3 games. The last time that happened, I was still playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Shout out to him, Bo, for embarrassing me and making me feel old. Also, shout out for the great stats. But that's how bad this offense is playing right now, and you can't just put that on one man.
Look, we watched them play now 3 games in 12 days. In those 3 games, Rex, 2 of which they lost, they've rushed for a combined 136 yards in 3 games. Why are they so one-dimensional, and can they win in January?
Well, they're putting all that, they love those short passing games, spread you out and do all that. That does not help your football team. And you lose that physical play up front. Like, what the hell happened to the Pittsburgh Steelers where they can't knock anybody off the football, and they're not committed to running the ball? I guess that's the reason, but it's unreal. And now you're going to go into the playoffs and you can't run the football? Like, good luck with that, because unfortunately for you, it's going to be a quick exit. If you can't run the football, and Ryan's dead on. When he talks about they're putting way too much on Ben Roethlisberger, that's exactly what I see. We got to get back to running the football here.
And so the Steelers have lost consecutive games. Period, new paragraph. Dan, let's talk about the Buffalo Bills, who, if it were not for one miracle Hail Mary from Kyler Murray, would be on a 7-game win streak. What are you seeing from them and from their quarterback?
Yeah, Greeny, the wagons have been circled in Buffalo. There's not a quarterback in the AFC playoff race that I want in the fourth quarter outside of Patrick Mahomes more than Josh Allen. Like, that's what he's become. When he needs to be his best, he's the best. You watched that fourth quarter yesterday when the kind of game still somewhat in limbo, he finds the shallow cross, first down. And then all of a sudden the awareness, okay, your blitz comes, my tight end's uncovered, I'll get the ball out of my hands. And then a little bit of like first quarterback sneak, we know that's a big part, but then some checks at the line of scrimmage, them run game when they're bringing that blitz. So he's been outstanding. This is a football team that a lot of people have doubted all year. And I told everyone 6 or 7 weeks ago, this was the team that could beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And now people are kind of getting on that train because they got a quarterback that could be explosive. He goes above the X's and O's. The adjustments that their coaching staff made yesterday at halftime of getting the ball out to the perimeter and that zone blitzes and then the runs away from that. That's a big deal. Their defense is a little bit opportunistic right now. They got 10 wins, America. 7 of them are against teams that are 500 or better. 7. Don't talk to me about signature wins. They got 7. This is a signature season for the Buffalo Bills. They're the second best team in that conference and the only one that has a realistic chance of beating the Kansas City Chiefs.
Super quick, RC, do you agree with that? Are they the biggest threat to Kansas City in the playoffs?
They are. They are, absolutely. And for every reason that Dan mentioned, you got a quarterback that's ascended into the top tier of quarterbacks in this league, and you have a defense that's starting to get the football, which is extremely important in today's game. You look at the Miami Dolphins yesterday, it wasn't about stopping the Kansas City Chiefs. It was about turning the football over. If this team could turn the football over against the Kansas City Chiefs and give Josh Allen and this offense more opportunities with the football, it's going to be a hell of a day when we get to watch these two teams face off in the playoffs.
And quickly, Rex, where is the quarterback in Buffalo at his best?
Red zone and on third down. And to me, the big advantage they have over Kansas City sounds crazy. In the red zone, give me the Buffalo Bills offense in the red zone over Kansas City. And that's why I think they got, they have a difference. And Ryan, I'm curious. That dude looks like the same guy I used to face when you and I were going against each other, quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He reminds me so much of Ben Roethlisberger.
Similar. Yeah.
And I thought that when he came out, but I see it right now.